And here we are. Well, I saw you jump.
I wasn't sure where to look.
You know, I find this amazing. This is TAR podcast number 40, and I didn't even have to write it down because it says it right on that screen in front of me, which is a nice touch because I can't remember anything. This is TAR podcast 40 from the TAR studio in Las Vegas, and it's almost summertime in Las Vegas, so it's starting to get a little warm. We have a very famous person with us, or infamous.
Hardly.
Yeah, Sam Dieppe from the Billiard Education Foundation.
Yes.
And she's been here, there, and everywhere for doing a lot of things. You wrote what was the name of your book for dummies?
You might be a D player.
Well,
if.
you might be a D player if.
Those are my past life.
Past life?
First life, I had that. And,
Okay.
you know, the interviews.
That's true. You were with the
Right.
Inside Pool and did a lot of things like that.
And
Yeah.
AC Billiards.
Yeah.
And
What's your website, Sam? Billiard
billiardeducation.org.
Education.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, I am the executive director for the Billiard Education Foundation, which is
the kids.
Yes, it's all about the juniors. We're a nonprofit organization. We raise money for academic scholarships, junior pool programs, and just everything billiards for kids.
And that's great. And you've made some good inroads. We work with you. You know, we're going to be doing some things. In fact, the Junior Nationals. In fact, this is actually an exceptional year because this is the 25th anniversary of the Junior National 9-Ball Championships and the 20th anniversary of the BEF.
Yes.
See, I remembered all that.
Yes.
See, pretty good.
Wow.
And we're having the event, and we're really happy to have it. It's in conjunction with the BCA Nationals at the Rio. We just left the Rio about an hour ago and gave Sam the Royal Tour. And I tell you, it's going to be something else. It's the first time that I think the kids are going to be there with the pros. TAR's going to stream. The kids are going to be a free stream. Have referees. We got diamond tables. It's just like a number one.
Yes.
Can't get any better. Best, and you know.
World class, for
Yeah,
sure.
thank you. And I'm glad that we were fortunate enough to get the event, and we're going to be lobbying to get it in the future years because I think Vegas is a good spot in so many ways for that because it's a central point. I know there's been some controversy on it being in a casino, but in all honesty, the last 2 world tournaments that the U.S. has had were in casinos.
In Reno. Mm-hmm.
And at the Rio, the convention center is, holy mackerel.
It's
It's like a
miles.
half a mile from the hotel room.
I know it.
You don't even know that you're in a casino.
Right.
And it's we'll be moving in right as the World Series of Poker is moving out. And you're expecting like maybe 200 kids, I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it. That would
Yeah.
be full field in all divisions, so
Yeah.
that'd be great. We do still have some spots available. There's 4 different divisions: the 18 and under boys, 18 and under girls, 14 and under boys, and 14 and under girls. And currently, right now, like I said, we still have spots available. So if anyone that is interested in participating in juniors out there that are watching, or any parents of juniors, or anyone that knows some young players that are would be interested in participating, just have them go to the website and contact me through the website.
And I know that CSI has sponsored, I can't remember, 10, 12, 14 kids last year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing the same this year. If there are some kids that just need some sponsorship, we will help them if we can. But again, contact Sam on that, and then she'll contact us because we're getting ready to put this event on. In all honesty, we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
No.
This one is a zoo. Listen, it's a new time
venue.
frame, new venue, new software. A lot of issues.
New time frame. You have to love Vegas to come, or have to love pool to come to Vegas in the middle of
Well,
the end of July.
that's actually
But
an
the
interesting
difference
topic.
is it's always 72 degrees
That's
in a
right.
hotel.
True.
The average
True.
temperature I think is 5 degrees higher than in May.
Is
It's
it?
not. It's
Is that
not.
it?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, statistics. You may have numbers do anything. I think the average high is a little higher than 5 degrees, but the average temperature some. But it's like Justin said, you're inside, and I'm not knocking the Riviera because the Riviera really treated us well. But this gives the Riviera the break in the last 3.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, this is off the charts, and I'm hoping. I really expect our numbers to drop a little bit, just because of the newness and the schedule. But in all honesty, I honestly feel that July is a better time frame for this type of event than May.
Really?
Everybody's still in school in May, you know, and that's
Oh,
just the way
true.
that's just the way I feel.
True.
And our numbers are held pretty consistent, but we're doing so many events. We got
Yeah.
3 U.S. Opens. We've got the World Trick Shots. We've got the Juniors. Plus, well, we're going to have 330 to 340 pool tables. It will be the largest event in the world.
A lot of independent stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the Six Pocket's going to be doing an event. Texas Bumps is going to do an event, and they're supporting the BEF some. So these are, new games that have a little twist on them. It's more for fun than anything else. Gives you an opportunity to check things out. We have over 50 vendors, over 90 booths. So lots of things happening. So I'm excited. I'm
good.
really, really excited.
It looks really nice.
And I don't buy the argument that Vegas is not family friendly to a degree. Some casinos I would not recommend, but the Rio with the convention center set off to the back like that, it's not a problem.
Absolutely. Great.
You've been how long you been with the BEF? About,
Just a year now. Just
about
a
a
year
year.
now. And
Laura Smith was there for 5 years. Tom Riccobini's still involved.
Tom Riccobini is still on the board.
Yeah.
Sherry
Okay.
Stout is the president now, and Tom is our treasurer.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, a lot of new changes and a lot of new things happening. And we're also, I know that you are possibly going to be involved in this as well. The launching some programs with the Boys and Girls
Oh
Clubs
yeah,
nationwide.
and that's through Mark and Kimberly Griffiths, not Griffin. I'm Griffin.
Not to
they're,
be confused.
They're Griffiths. They live in Colorado. I live in Vegas. Okay.
Right. And they've been huge supporters
Of the juniors. Yeah,
of the
they've done
juniors and of the
tremendous.
BEF. Yeah, they have straightshots.com is their website. So.
Yes, and we're joining forces or something. We're still working on all the details, but come September, we figured September would be the good time frame because that's kind of the school year and it gives us time to get through our event. We're going to be introducing some programs for the Boys and Girls Clubs, and we're going to be using a variation of Six Pocket. And we've got the apps being developed, and what it'll be is it'll be a minimal charge, but a kid that's playing pool, he can play himself. He'll keep score, and the guardian or the coach or the whatever they call the person that's overseeing, the monitor, because everybody has an iPhone or an Android, so they can just put the kid's name in, boom, 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 send his score up, and now every week he can check his progress, and it introduces him to pool. And really, Six Pocket is basically straight pool, so it's kind of the mother of all games. I'm really excited. This is going to be fun. Kimberly and Mark have, I think they've identified like 80 boys and girls clubs that have 3 to 6 pool tables. So, and they've been getting sticks repaired, getting cloth, getting the mechanics to donate their time. Most of this is donated goods, and if anybody out there has any
Yes.
excess cloth, tables, balls, sticks,
Anything billiard related.
I would say get it to Mark and Kimberly Griffiths, but I do you have their information right off the top of your
You
head?
could just go to straightshots, str8-shots.com.
Okay, straight-shots.com, or contact Sam, or contact me, and we'll get the information to him. Because this is something that's been, it's not like we invented this idea. Years ago, in fact, there was a great thread on AZ Billiards about Cicero Murphy. And that's where he came out of. He came out of the Boys and Girls Clubs playing pool.
Oh, okay.
And he was became like the best black player ever,
Sure.
But then I know that Jimmy Karras and some of the other old guys, I'm talking back in the 40s and the 50s, did all this stuff. So, and the BCA called kids camps. They did something similar, but it wasn't Boys and Girls Clubs. And we're going to try and rejuvenate all those programs. And because I think the future's in the kids.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, just read AZ Billiards and listen to all the moaning and groaning that's going on between Bonus Ball and everybody else. The adults don't play well together. So we'll get the kids and train them right.
We just
You
need
know.
to be better ambassadors, be some good role models.
Yeah. It's but yeah, we appreciate your getting involved. I think you probably got yourself a lifelong career here
I hope
if you're not
so.
careful.
I hope so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I found my calling.
Didn't you? Yeah, well, that's great. And I mean, you're well known in the industry. You've been pretty active. Used to play a little bit.
Dabble.
Yeah, dabble. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have anything you want to ask us?
What is Shane's favorite snack? Your viewers at home can't see the assortment of.
Well, that's
Snacks.
yeah. When
It's
we
craft services table, man.
Oh, it's quite a green room.
we this is also the TAR studio where we have the TAR challenge matches,
Right.
and coming up on June 6th, 7th, and 8th, we have Shane.
7th, 8th, and 9th.
7th,
Close
8th, and
though.
9th.
Close.
Hey, I want them there early.
Valid effort. Valid effort.
I want them there early. 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's why Justin's in the back rooms.
Yeah. It's the 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's TAR 35. We're going to have Dennis Orculio. I can't pronounce either one of these
It
guys.
depends on who you are.
Sam, what's the proper way
You
to
know,
say
I've
his
heard
name?
it.
I've seen it spelled different
I've
too. yeah.
heard it said all kinds of ways, and Scott Smith used to say Orculio.
I think it's actually Orculio.
But double L is yo, right?
Orculio is
But
how
I
I
think
Anyway, that guy.
Yeah.
that guy.
He's taking on Shane, and we're doing an old school race to 100,
Race to 100.
which is I think I was not a big fan of the race to 100 at the end. By the time we stopped doing them,
This one's going to be hot.
But to me,
Yeah.
this is really cool. It's kind of the only way I would do a race to 100 would probably be Shane and Dennis, maybe Shane and Alex.
It's got to be somebody
or
with a gear
Boosty.
or boosty.
Yeah, somebody like that. But this, to me, is awesome because
Winter
in
break.
January of 2007 at Derby, I went to eat breakfast one morning with Shane. I've told this story before, but that was before Shane was Shane. He hadn't won anything major yet. But he was gambling and winning a lot of money gambling. But we walked into at the old Executive West to the
Derby City.
Remember the breakfast buffet? It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was the only thing that was good there.
It was actually.
So, and there was nobody in the joint but me and Shane, and Dennis was sitting there by himself eating like a bowl of oatmeal or something. And Dennis just looked up at Shane and he smiled and he says, "We play? We play?" and Shane kind of said, you know, he asked for some stupid spot. And then I said, "No, you too good, you know." And Shane, we sat down and Shane looked at Dennis. He said, 2 years, I'll play you even, 2 years.
Wow.
So he's only about 3 or 4 years late.
Right.
But I think they've played. I think they've played in the Philippines and stuff like that. Short sets. I'm sure they have.
Well-
Well, it would surprise me if they haven't. But for this is something that you know, when it comes to just straight 10 ball, it's a great set.
Yeah.
Classic match, in
That's
my
some-
opinion.
Fun foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure you remember this, but when we first affiliated with Shane was the year he was playing at the BCA tournament. It was the Billiard Congress of America tournament. At my tournament, it was 2005, I guess, or 6. And Shane came in second.
It's 2007.
Was it 7? And he came in second, and it was the
Mark's
TV
not very
match.
good with the details.
I'm
by
not.
the way. Don't do dates.
Dates suck. Okay, but Shane got defeated by Orculio on an ESPN match, 7-zip.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yep.
I think it only showed twice on TV. It just most of the times they rerun them. But, well, Dennis is a monster. I mean, he's reputed to be the best rotation player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think he's the
Well, what
best
it-
money 10 ball player.
well, you know, him and Yang. That was an interesting one. Yang spanked him really bad.
Twice.
Yeah, raced to 60. It was like 60 to 48 or 42 or something.
They
Just
played 2 matches. He beat him
clobbered.
twice.
Didn't Dennis put a big package together against the Ghost in Derby this year?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, somebody. There's a note.
I don't. You know, that's a different thing too. All I know is, I think, and this is a race to first one to 35 the first day, and then the first one to 70 the second day, and then the
Okay.
third day is only a 30-game split for somebody. But this one could go either way. My gut tells me Shane's going to win, but I don't think he's supposed to win.
What's his record now, Justin? Because you're no good with numbers.
Somebody. Actually, you know what? Now that we're into that, let's do something really cool here. The new AZ. I'm psyched about this. The new AZ Billiards
The
site.
line.
Yeah.
The new line. Yeah, have you seen their new
Yes.
site?
The new
Oh,
site
yeah.
is the
Very
coolest thing in
sexy.
the world. It's
Yeah,
right there.
You guys need to pay attention now. Yeah.
Now this is zoomed in, but
For everybody this is the new AZ Billiards
this is
site.
the new AZ Billiard. Let me zoom out.
They released it about a week ago.
That's what it looks like.
But it's unbelievable.
But
what's on
here's, you know,
Make it big again. There you go.
seeing as how that, you know, I really, you know, as they say on the internet, I don't give a shit about anything but tar. So let's just do this. You go to new tours and events.
Tours and events. Yep. Have you seen this? Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this. Is cool.
don't know.
Or you wait.
And naturally it's waiting. Okay, here we go. All right, tours and events, and then you search, go to TAR,
Ah,
and we go
Wait a
here.
minute. Wait, you haven't seen anything
Check
yet.
this.
This is every tar match
Yeah.
that's ever
Now
played.
here's
ah.
so basically this is like a TAR subsection. So there's the
That's-
last several, but check this out. Here's every TAR event we've ever done, pretty much
Sweet.
going back.
And they have who won. Now this is every event they've done this on. It's not just tar.
Uh-huh.
It's any
Oh
event.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
They had 2,000. They said they were going to have 2,000 players. Were going to have their own page.
If you want to know like who was on the 1994 Mosconi Cup team or whatever, it's there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But like like here, Action Challenge 3. This was at the
Q Olympics.
Q Olympics.
Oh, I remember the Q
Where you
Olympics.
met your
Yeah.
lovely
so-
wife.
And so here's the cool thing is like this is the event page. So it gives you the dates, gives you the location, gives you the format, stuff like that. The players. And then to see who won, you go up here and you click on the little podium
Results.
for results. And it gives you Shane. It gives you the money he won. I'm trying to, what I need to get with JP about and figure out is how we can do something with to where we can get the actual scores in there.
Oh.
So what's next?
But anyhow, AZ has outdone themselves. I'm not computer sharp at all, and I get lost.
Oh, check this out. They've even got a next tournament coming up. So if you click on next tournament, then it gives you this. Oh, and they look, this is what's cool. Yeah, check this out. They got the schedule, all this stuff, and then we can go here to Shane, click on Shane.
Tells you
Alright.
everything he's won this year on the
Alright,
AZ
that's-
bunny board. It's just
And like here's something I think's pretty cool. Let's see. 3,000, 3,000, 35, 9,500. So he's made 9,500 from TAR, which is more than anyone except for winning the Super Billiards Expo Players Championship. And he's played 3 tournaments. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. Well,
And
tar.
then there's a way you can go in here and see, because Sam asked his record. There was a way you could find like his TAR record.
Mhm.
Anyway, but so this is the new AZ Billiards website, and let's go here. We'll search Mosconi Cup.
It's pretty. They spent 4 years doing this.
Oh,
This was
yeah.
not a, and they're going to have more and more stuff. I know that they're going to be putting up all the old copies of the Billiard News, and all Conrad's magazine and everything.
Yeah.
Just the research value here, and it really does pull things together.
But see here,
It's,
check this out. Mosconi Cup stuff going back to
It was
'94.
Miller, Pilsen, Mosconi.
Right, now check this
Interplay.
out. Doc Martin's Mosconi Cup number 3, 1996.
Wow.
We click on this, okay.
Tells you who the players were.
Right.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Danny Harriman, Alan Hopkins, Shannon Dalton, Roger Griffiths, CJ was a player,
Wow.
Mike Massey.
Mike
yeah.
Massey. Look, Ronnie O'Sullivan played for Great Britain that year. Mika was kicking it back in '94.
So was Oliver and Ralph Souquet. I didn't know that Vincent Fouquet, or how do you pronounce it, from Italy. I didn't know he'd been around that long. That's 19 years ago.
And so let's see.
Wow.
Home. I think this. I'm still trying to figure this out. We're going to try and get JP Parmenter on the podcast and set up some kind of Skype deal to where we can.
Do a seminar, educational,
Yes,
Good
absolutely.
idea.
for the kids.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's just this. You can keep going and going and going. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then you've got all your news stories here. And the cool thing that I've been using a lot now is it goes right to the forums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I like that.
So then you can get your fix of nonsense and general BS.
Yeah. And the forums have been full of it lately. A lot of issues going on. You want to just jump into those things, Mr. Justin? Is that fine? Sam, you can stay. You can leave. You can laugh at us as we make fun of the world.
I might take this opportunity to escape.
To escape. Hey,
Thank
listen,
you so much for
you're
having
in town
me.
for the VNEA tournament. It's being held at Bally's. About 3,000 players, I would assume. That's what they had last year. And are you playing? I know Mark, your husband is.
No, I'm not playing.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
came to see you.
Oh, I'm so honored.
Flitter.
Yep. And it's my mini-me's 1-year birthday tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, congratulations.
Clara, yeah.
Clara?
So
Yeah.
she was here.
Okay, well, I'll be stumbling over to the Bally's sometime this weekend. I'll look you up and say hi to
Great.
Mark and
Great.
see what the rest of the pool world. We a lot of the leagues get along with each other. I mean, they come over to
most
me,
of us.
but yeah, most of us. There's a few that don't, but that's their problem, not mine. So.
But, so on that note, if any juniors or anyone know of any juniors,
Yeah.
just contact me. Go to the
Yeah,
website.
contact her or contact me, and then anything to do with the boys and girls clubs if you want to get involved, because this is going to evolve into a pretty good sized program. I mean, even to point maybe we can do
Nationwide.
some table exchanges, and because that is the future of pool, and it's been neglected too long, and let's put some resources together and make it work. Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Sam.
And then, since we touched on the forum situation, it's of course the biggest one is the bonus ball versus the world debates. We should probably talk on the China Open. Lee Van Cortez has snapped off another one. Been a while. That guy can play really good, and he plays so relaxed when he plays. I watched a little bit of it. It's really hard to get the feed the way I was doing it from China. I wish they'd get a little more communicated. But
Yeah, I didn't sweat any of that.
yeah, Darren, I was hoping that Darren would do well, but he got a lot. There were some stats. Europe had 6 people. U.S. had 1, which is another topic in itself. China had a ton. Filipinos had quite a few, but the final was 1 Filipino, 3 Taiwanese, and 4 Chinese. So Europe sent 6 people over, and they all got blown out. A couple of them got to the top 32, maybe the top 16, I think. It's just a different level of play sometimes, And and it's unfortunate there was only 1 American, and that was Mr. Hunter Lombardo. He's everywhere, and I admire
Is
him
Hunter
for
the
it.
only guy from the U.S. that went?
Yep, the only one. And that is really, really injuring the American players. And it seems like the pros, I'm surprised Shane didn't go, but I think he was saying he just needs a break.
Yeah, Shane was talking about it, but
Yeah,
then he
he
said
just
it's
needs
just
a
too
break.
far. I mean, it's too much.
Yeah, and he just needs a break. But I don't understand all these other Americans. And it's really injuring the American reputation in the world market. Of course, the world market has its problems, too. They keep canceling the tournaments.
To play devil's advocate, as a player, if America really gave much of a shit about whatever you're talking about, image or whatever you think, then they would support it and they would send the players. But nobody sends the players.
Well,
So it's kind of unfair to expect,
No, I just...
why would a player go if he knows he's going to lose money?
Well, I'm not saying he has to lose money, but I mean...
would you send someone? I mean, if you're not going to pay for them to go, why should they pay to go?
Well, because they're the ones that make the money, and it's their profession.
But not if they're going.
Well,
if
no,
they don't think they're going to make the money, why would they go?
Well, that's fine. If they don't want to go, nobody can make them go. I am saying that it injures the American reputation on the world pool playing scene, and there was a point years ago when out of the 64 players, the U.S. would get 10 or 12 spots. Now they get 4, and they can't even fill them, and that's North America, not just U.S. That's Canada too.
Well, I mean, to me, it goes back to if. Every player I've talked to, if I sure as hell wouldn't go. I mean, why do you want to spend all that money, go somewhere, completely foreign environment, hell, and then sometimes, depending on where you go, getting paid is not a certainty either.
There's some issues there. But, I mean, I'm just saying that is the world arena. And if you are a true professional, that's why I really think Shane is the only professional in this country. I firmly believe that.
I think there's a lot less professionals than people think there are, but I don't. To me, the world stage is, I think, to me, it's bigger than if you're going to start bringing in the country as some U.S. pool or something like that. Then the players got to have some kind of support. You can't have it both ways. You can't put it all on the players. Not in my opinion.
Well, that's your opinion too. I mean,
Sure.
I mean, the structure is completely different in the U.S. In the
There is no structure in
Well,
the
the
US.
European countries or the other federations, if you're a member of the federation and you exceed and you get an invite, the federation pays your way. Well, the Americans don't have a federation, and I think it's about time there is one. And I think that there's this one good thing that all this bonus ball razzmatazz is going to cause is there's liable to cause some interesting dynamics. We'll have to see. Let's go and let's talk about the video on demand and get on some pleasant things, and we'll go back and.
Yeah, this is what I've been working on.
I know you've been busting your butt too. Yeah.
It took a while, but let me.
Because this is a pretty big deal for TAR. We've had people trying to
Very
get.
big deal. This is the TAR website. Let me zoom in here, and this is our on-demand stuff. This is the first one we did before we had done. This is the Vimeo's on-demand platform is what we're using. We've used it for the Shane instructional stuff. It's been very, everybody's really
pretty stable.
Liked it.
And all that
Yeah,
stuff.
people love it. So what we've done now is you can get to it through our website. You click on it, and it takes you to the Vimeo page. Let me zoom in. Okay. And so the way this works is we've got TAR 34, which is the match, and you come down and each match will have episodes. So right now what we've got up, like I said, I just started. We've got the one pocket from TAR 34, and it gives a little summary right here.
And remember, TAR 34 was a 3-event
3-day
contest.
Yep.
It was one pocket, 10 ball, 8 ball, and each one is a separate episode.
Yep, and then right here we have TAR 34, 10 ball, race to 27. And what these are is you can buy this either by, and let me tell you what, let me log out right quick so I can show you what.
But this is going to allow the TAR fans to get access to the stuff that's been done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, 4 or 5 years
all the way
ago.
back.
All the way
But
back.
like now, here's what it is. If you're just coming up on the site, I'm logged out. Now with this, what you have the option to do, since this is 3 days, and my pricing model that I'm going to try is $5 per day, basically. I want to keep it cheap, and we'll see what it does. And so far, it's been great. But
It's also like 6 hours of value.
yeah, like the one pocket is 6 hours, just less than $1 an hour for
and you
effort
get
and chain.
And you get to watch it as many times as you want for 1 year,
And you can download it, so you can keep it forever.
or you can keep it forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a hell of a deal. I mean, it really is a hell of a deal. I'm not sitting here saying we won't change it, but
You got to start somewhere.
Right.
See how it works.
but so anyway, you come here, and to purchase it, you can either buy, and then tomorrow the 8 ball will be up for this. It takes me about a day to convert a file, upload it, and for Vimeo to process it. Once I get everything, now that I've got the workflow figured out,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty happy with how stable it is. It takes me about 1 day, day and night for everything to go from hard drive to uploaded and ready to roll.
Yeah.
So, but the good news is it's working. So it's really it's happening.
Well, I know
But-
you've worked on it for a long time.
So anyway, to buy this thing, there's 2 ways you can buy it. You can buy the whole match, which gets you all 3 in one chunk. You only got to do one transaction. You just click buy all. And what happens is this will pop up. And then you need to log in. So you do have to have a Vimeo account. But Vimeo accounts are free, 100%. They don't cost anything. So you make a Vimeo account with your email or whatever. A lot of people already have them. And then you just pay with either PayPal or credit card, and you're good to go. And then once you're signed in like that, it's the same thing. Once you're logged into Vimeo,
Yeah.
you just click it, and same deal. So anyway,
So let me ask a couple of dumb questions.
sure.
Because there were some interesting questions that I couldn't even understand what they were talking about on the thread on AZ Billiards. it is HD, correct?
Yes, 1280 by 720.
Yeah, because you had some people asking questions that I don't know if they understood the questions they were asking.
Yeah. Well, there was. Yeah. I mean, it's no. The file is it's 1280 by 720. It's 6,000 kilobits. It's a good looking file. I mean, it's a nice file. It's big. That's one reason I do not guarantee the downloads, is because this. Let me see. Let me click on this. The one pocket.
It's
Okay.
15.5 or something.
Yeah, 15.5 gigs. That's a lot. It's a big file. The other one, the 10 ball, is I want to say 9, something like that.
So the issue could be, I mean, yeah, you're
Well, you can get cut off. You can, anything can
if
happen.
the connection could be bad at your
Right,
All
so-
all you can say is
It will
works.
stream 100%, and it will download as long as your end is correct.
Yeah.
So
And I did notice one person said once he got it downloaded, it took 4 minutes for it to start. Because other people saying, well, I got it downloaded.
depends
it
on
wouldn't
what
play.
you use, and that's something I'll probably do in the future. Is I'll do a tutorial
Yeah.
on how the best way to watch it. VLC Media Player is the best. That's the best tool to watch any video from the net. Is VLC VLC Player, and I'll do something like that. But so anyway, yeah, super excited about this.
Yeah, we could get into monthly, yearly, whatever.
No monthly. There is
Yeah.
none of that.
Okay.
Don't slow down there. Slow your roll. That's one thing that this is limited to, is you can only do a la carte pretty much, or you can or individual days and matches. So like here you can buy the whole match. Like here you can buy the whole match, or you can buy each individual day, whatever you want to do. Now in the future, when I get a bunch of matches up, it will be possible to lump them all together and say, okay, we've got the whole catalog here. We say we've got 20 matches. You can have them all for a year for $100, and if you can download them all in that year, more power to you.
But the fact that you can download them, because once, I guess, I'm not sharp on computers. Once you get it on your computer and your system, you could put it on your own DVD and just watch it forever.
Absolutely, you'd have to encode it. Yeah, you'd
Okay.
have to do all that noise. But absolutely, once
Yeah.
and that was one of the things that I personally struggled with, because once somebody has it, they have it. They'll never, that's it. So, and the other thing is, your stuff's going to get out into the wild. Somebody's going to put this shit on YouTube.
Which
but
is-
that's the nature of the beast. When you put your product
Yeah,
out there, people are going to steal it.
That's so uncalled for. I don't think these people
Yeah.
think they're being cool, and it's just so wrong on so many
Well,
levels.
in an industry
It's just really-
in an industry as small as ours, it really hurts. But the other good thing is, it's possible to protect yourself, and YouTube will
yeah.
work with you.
I just like to find out who they are and just go public them. Just put them out there.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
that's the way I look at it, and just let everybody know what type of people
I
they are.
don't get
Yeah.
real wrapped around the axle about it. It's when if somebody takes my stuff, puts it on YouTube, and then monetizes it, that bites my ass, because then they're making money off of something. To me, I'm a pretty conservative dude, but I'm pretty libertarian at heart. I got a little hippie in me. So I kind of understand the sharing thing, like, hey, look, I want to share this, check
Yeah.
this out. So if somebody just puts the shit up and is like, dude, check this out, this is awesome, that
That's
it
fine.
kind of annoys me, but it doesn't really piss me off.
But if a
when
little
somebody puts it up and then monetizes it through YouTube, and they're making money off of something, then that's brutal. I mean,
Well,
that makes me nuts.
And there's been some ugly instances. I know that Manorwood, I think is how you pronounce it, he lost all his catalog or something to some group or something. I don't know the
Yeah, I
details.
don't know how that works.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so
this is
on
pretty
demand,
cool.
and
Yeah.
we're going to be putting up lots of content, and I might start alternating some stuff. I got to work out some stuff. I'd like to get the old stuff up. The only thing is, the old stuff kind of looks like shit compared to the new stuff.
It looks old.
Yeah, it's like no camera operators. It looks like.
Lighting was poor in places.
Yeah, it was just, and some of the stuff, some of the angles are bad, some of the audio is jacked up, but there's some good stuff in there still, nonetheless. And that may be something. I don't know. There's lots of different things we can play with, but and the other thing is a lot of the old stuff is long as shit.
Races to 100.
Yeah. So.
But you had some pretty good matches, like some of that Alex and Shane stuff. The bar table race to 21, and Shane and Cliff. I remember
Yeah.
that one. Cliff won the Cliff won the 8 ball, and Shane won the 1 pocket. They won
But
the
with
opposite
this
games.
interface, and that's the other thing is with this interface, I'm still learning what it's capable of and what the limitations are as far as how you organize things. So I'm excited, man. I'm really excited because it allows us to do something people have wanted forever. And
Well, now we'll see. Won't we?
yeah, if nothing else, it's just.
Well, it needed to be.
It has to be.
It needed to get out of the can and into the world. Yeah,
so-
I totally agree with that. So
And now.
yeah.
So, I mean, I had planned to not do anything between the last match in July, but do this and just get everything loaded in. But we had the opportunity to do Dennis and Shane, so we're going to do that. But, no, man, this is going to be super cool. And then we've got some more of the Shane stuff coming. Cleary's finishing up some of that stuff.
Oh, another DVD. Yep.
Yep, and it's going to be, we got the run out portion coming, which is Shane. Going through some runouts, 8 ball, 9 ball, 10 ball. I don't think we do any 1 pocket on that. I think it's just the other games. But that's really cool because as he's running the balls out, he talks and Jennifer will ask him questions like, what about this? What about that? Kind of a look inside what's going on in his head when he's playing. So that's cool.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotten pretty good reception.
And the other thing I want to do is, it's been this video on demand stuff, and then TAR 35 has had me kind of hopping lately. But I want to get more of the stuff up from past on our YouTube channel. I wanted because my plan is I want to put all the stuff from like U.S. Bar Table Championships. The U.S. Open
CSI.
10 ball, U.S. Open 1 pocket that we have in the can. I want to get all that stuff on YouTube for free, and then that way we can. I'm a big believer in you have to put out free content too.
You got to whet the appetite.
Yeah,
Let them know what's out there.
And so
I agree.
I think we put that content on YouTube, and then we do the TAR stuff. The challenge matches, some of the old stuff, we sell that. And to me, $5 is a fair price.
Well,
I mean, $5 for 6 hours is a fair price.
Well, the fact that you can make it download and you watch it forever, basically.
Yes, and you keep it.
And
the other thing I know, I had a lot of people when we were doing DVDs that they collected them. They like to collect DVDs. So anything, and it's not just us, but AccuStats, anything pool, they collected DVDs. So anything we would put out, they would buy because they collected them. And now I've already had some people mention, now this is a way for people to collect the matches.
Yeah.
I mean, you can put a hard drive together. You can go out and you can spend $60, $70 on a hard drive and literally fill it with all the TAR matches. And now it's yours. You want to watch it on your television, plug it in. It's all the new stuff will be 720p. And it's really the other cool thing is distribution-wise, the only other way for me to get an HD file to anyone would be to do Blu-rays. And now you're talking stupid money.
Yeah.
And it's just
No.
so
It's been a long time coming, and
Yeah.
I take my hat off to you, even though I don't wear one, because you worked at it. I loved your staying. You made a couple statements. Says, if you're going to be stupid, you got to be tough. So
I mean, I don't, I mean, you've been right there with us. I mean, we did. How much time do we spend on two
No.
different possible deals?
It's been going on for a year and a half.
Two different possible deals, and neither one of them were. I mean, if we would have done them, it might have looked a little cooler than what we got, but it would have made no sense. We couldn't make any money.
Yeah.
So this way, we're able to keep the prices low. There is no middleman except for Vimeo, and they're extremely reasonable. I'll tell anybody out there, just to help anybody that's looking to do this stuff. I mean, it's awesome. They just launched this service with Vimeo. You get their backbone, which is amazing. Full HD hosting. everything, it's $200 a year for a
Yeah.
pro account, and that's all you need. And then that gets you 50 gigs of storage, and then I think 50,000 plays. And then the beautiful part is, if you need more, it's another $200. You get another 50 gigs and another 50,000 plays.
Yeah.
Which, if you're at that point,
Yeah.
you're more than happy to pay them $200.
No, that's yeah. Well, technology is a funny thing, and it's hard to get in, and but as time goes on, it keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and easier. So,
And the beautiful part of this is, like, everything we looked at before, there was like all these carrying costs or maintenance fees, all this bullshit. So, I mean,
the model's changing.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I mean, like the quotes we were getting, we'd be lucky to get 40% on the dollar.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
we get 90.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 90-10 split,
All right.
plus payment fees.
No.
So anybody out there looking to do video on demand, or if you got any kind of thing that you're trying to do, Vimeo, man. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I've beat my head against the wall for years trying to find a solution that made sense. And, I wish this, and this just came out. So, but anyway, hopefully nobody feels the pain I had to go through with this shit.
But anyhow, so it's Star 35, which is Shane versus Dennis, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then after that, we go to the Rio for July 17th through 27th, and we're doing the U.S. Open 1 pocket, and then 10 ball, and then 8 ball, and then the juniors. So you'll be busy.
Yeah, July would be cool. Talk to my man Andy Chen. He's going to be coming out. He's going to work all the events with us in July, which is good.
Good,
and
good.
We'll probably
Andy's getting better and better all the time.
Yeah,
He's getting really good.
I tell you what, man, it's been real cool to see, him kind of grow into what he's doing. I mean, he does the pool stuff with us because he likes it, and it kind of is a favor. But the stuff he's doing in L.A., man, he's
a real life cinematographer. I guess you
absolutely,
call
yeah.
it.
I mean, he's in that business.
Yep.
I mean, he's really doing a good job. He's building his, building a career is what he's doing, and it's really cool to see somebody do that. So, and it's also I love it because I get to learn so much. I mean, I learn all kinds of shit from Andy, and so I really enjoy when he can come do stuff because I get to pick things up.
Yep.
So,
A couple other things. I do want to get in and talk about the threads on AZ Billiards. I think I'm not out here to bash bonus ball, but I think it needs to be discussed because it seems to be the topic.
Big flame thread going on right now.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say a whole lot on it. I'm going to say a couple things. Gary Lutman is really, really pro bonus ball, and these guys, I'm just going by his posts, and they're not. And Lee Brett, he's getting out there a little bit, but the problem, you're not looking at the big picture. Just because somebody says, "Oh, they're on top of everybody else's schedules," that doesn't mean, "Oh, you want them to fail." That doesn't mean that at all. I think that the game will fail or survive on its own merits. I think it's just total BS that they scheduled on top of everybody else's events. They had the options. Oh, they're going to say, "Oh, well, we asked the players which events they wanted to go to." That really doesn't work. First of all, players don't know that far in advance. It's just the nature of the beast. And the whole issue is the scheduling issue. I mean, I know they basically kept TAR from doing events for 4 months.
Well,
because they kept changing their dates.
And one thing that,
Go ahead.
I got into it on the thread pretty heavy
Yeah.
with Lenny and Nathan. And my problem, people have this, it's like, and Lenny took a shot and he goes, "Oh, and these people act like the reason I'm asking these questions and stuff is I'm scared that bonus ball is going to put TAR out of business."
That's not the issue at all.
And that is not the issue. Because for one thing, I mean, if you look at the guys who play in our matches, there's plenty of guys out there for us to work with that aren't doing bonus ball. And so the other thing is,
that's not the issue.
My thing is these guys come in, they turn the industry upside down basically, and everybody runs over and
on a promise.
On a promise.
And
you've got guys who, Sullivan, other guys that have been at this shit for a long time.
We put a lot of money in their pockets.
A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And now I see, and I said it in the thread, I see, to me, if I'm a player, yeah, it makes sense for me probably if I'm a certain kind of player. Now, I think some of these guys maybe haven't really sat down and did the numbers on expenses versus, things, which is why, to me, where it comes in is that prize fund. I mean, now this prize fund is a big deal because the salary they're making, it's $900 a week.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. The other thing these guys, I'm sure, haven't considered, a lot of them. Yeah, it's $900 a week. How many of them you think are going to put back taxes on that $900 a week? So chances are every one of them is going to walk out of this thing with a tax problem. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah, and that's their own. That's their structure.
But once again, all this, everybody's a big boy. So my only issue is, if these guys, and I don't even have a problem with bonus ball, if they came in and said, look, fine, every one of our players, to get a shot at this money, you have to sign a contract with us that you cannot appear in a competing stream when we're streaming. If they did that and locked their players down, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't bitch. I wouldn't moan. I'd completely understand. If I knew for sure that these guys were able to do what they say they can. If I knew for sure that, yeah, these guys, they're really going to do this thing, it's going to go through, it's going to go to 6 months, all the money's going to be there, and these guys are going to get paid, you'd have no problem from me. None.
Well, you have a different viewpoint than a lot of the other people have.
Right.
You're talking about Justin, and the audience needs to know that Justin and I don't agree on a lot of things here.
But no, I'm just giving my point of view because I've been labeled as this guy that just hates bonus ball because I'm scared of it. Yeah. And that's not the case.
Okay. Well, and that's not the topic to me.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You brought it up. That's what I'm talking about. But I think the case is these guys don't have a clue what the hell they're doing. They're stumbling around. They've had somebody just hit them over the head with money, or credit, whatever, You hear all kinds of shit, which I don't post everything I hear in those threads because that's not fair. But and I've heard all kinds of stuff. But like
we
I
all
said,
have.
yeah, it's not fair. So I don't get into what I hear for the most part. But so to me, that's what pisses me off is these guys turn everything upside down.
Mm-hmm. They don't legitimate questions, and sometimes things start getting too personal.
Well,
they're not supposed to be.
Hey man, here's the hard part.
Yeah.
If somebody can't explain to me how something can survive in a paragraph, that's a red flag to me.
Well, not only you, everybody in the world's been saying that. I blame bonus ball for their own problems. They're coming out with a new product. They could have done a much better job. They've basically screwed up every step of the way they could. Now, whether they can rectify it, that's fine, whatever it is. I don't care about the merits of the game. I don't care if you play it, I play it. I don't care. It's not my business. I don't care. If it's good for pool, I like it. But what they're doing is not good for pool. Now, what they're doing is they're basically jeopardizing the status quo. Then people say, well, the status quo doesn't work. It's time for a change. I'm not going to disagree with that. But you don't take a sledgehammer to cause change. You work around because the real problem is these pro players and everybody affiliated, they're gambling with bonus ball, just like they said, well, they could gamble with Trudeau. Well, you saw how that worked out. My prediction is bonus ball has to work out exactly the same. There's no long-term funding. I know Nathan keeps saying, but you don't know the plan. He's absolutely right. I don't know the plan. I don't need to know the plan. The players should know the plan, but I do need to know how it affects my events. And the fact is, they could totally disrupt my events. Every name event in this country could get totally disrupted. And if bonus ball goes away in 6 months or a year, what does that do to me? Or Diamond, Derby City. How about Body? Adding 75,000, he's got 40 players signed up. It's really
I just want to
unfortunate.
chime in on that. That's nuts.
It is nuts.
That's crazy.
These pro players are. I don't get it. Now I understand they're always late to sign up.
$75,000 added tournament.
Mm-hmm. You win 2 matches, you're in the money probably.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but the problem is, and I have to kind of refer to my situation. This year at our nationals, at our U.S. Open, 3 U.S. Open events, there is no gate. But if I was relying on a gate, and the pro players don't let anybody know they're going to be playing, or they don't play, that has now injured my gate. If I was relying on the gate and saying my gate's supposed to be $30,000, it's $10,000, they just cost me $20,000. I'm not going to be real happy about that because, and I know it's been alluded to, but we break even on the pro events. That's our goal. And it really, if you did real close accounting, we don't because there's extra labors and this and that. And unfortunately, we like doing it because I think it's supposed to be part of pool. It seems like the people we're doing it for don't appreciate it. I'm not saying we're going to do anything. I'm not saying we're not. It's being discussed. And there's a lot of discussions going on. And if Bonus Ball wanted to create some buzz, they were successful. But I think they shot themselves in the foot. They have been arrogant, rude, inconsiderate, and as unprofessional as you can be. Now, it has nothing to do with their personalities, has nothing to do with the merits of the game. It's common sense business practice. And I can't believe that they expect the world to jump up and endorse them with their attitudes. They could have very easily danced around some of the existing events because they are forcing the players to choose. You and I have had these discussions. You should never force a player to choose unless you give them an alternative, you know. And I just don't think that the players should be forced to choose with their future. Because if Bonus Ball fails, what happens if some of these other events go away? Or they're restricted from playing. There's a lot of things that could happen.
Well,
And,
I mean, to me, and honestly, I hope that this bonus, personally, I mean, anybody that wants to bet Bonus Ball sees the second season, see me, because we can bet. I don't have a whole lot, but I will send it in. Yeah. I'm of the opinion that this thing will probably fold under its own weight in the first season, in which case the disruption will be minor. Now, if through some miracle they find some way to support this monster and it goes to a second or third season and gets some traction and, picks things up, then, yeah, but at the same time, the players really aren't going to be that much better off.
No.
I mean, a few,
there's a mid-level player that's going to be better
they'll make
off.
$25,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, people say, oh, well, that's better than what they got now. Okay, yeah, I guess if that's the way you want to look at it. If you want to have 2 residences or if you want to move to Vegas.
Yeah, there's so many hidden things there. Like Fat Boy was saying, a lot of people just can't live in Vegas.
Well, that's the other
And
trick here
you've
that
got,
I don't think, to me, if you look at this whole structure, and to me, that's one of the interesting things about it, is because if somebody came to me and said, look, here's our goal. We want to do X. Here's the budget. Okay? Personally, they haven't done one thing I would do.
Well, we don't know that. We're not privy to their budgets, and we're not supposed to be.
But what's their goal? Their goal is to do a league and grow this game.
The only person that ever talked the word league 1 or 2 times was Barry Bremner, and he's not even affiliated anymore.
Well, they hinted in some of the Lee Brett was hinting around at the league. But,
well, I'm sorry, but Lee Brett showed his ass on some of the stuff he was writing down. Like, I'm sorry, do I have a 30-room mansion somewhere?
Yeah.
Just kiss my butt.
Can I borrow the jet this weekend?
It's in use. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
The wife had to fly to Palm Springs.
Yeah, it's like I said. It's like I said in the reply. It's like all these people who think everybody in pool's getting rich, and they're so smart because they think they're smart because I can see how much money this guy's making. Well, if you're so smart, how come you don't go get some of that money? I'm telling you, dude. I ain't like that.
I have the standard offer that anytime somebody starts making comments like that, I say, all right, you think we're making so much money? You are more than welcome to come down and spend 1 week in my office or just follow me. Mm-hmm. And you'll see all the things we're doing and all the checks we write to other things, and you'll say, how in the hell do you stay in business? It's not how much do you make. You guys have got such a tainted viewpoint. It just makes me want to puke. And that's,
I know you make at least $2 million in
quarters.
Coin drop.
Yeah. And this year we're not even having the coin drop, so I'm giving it away. So I must have more.
I don't know, man. But that's the internet, you know. I mean, every time I get like wound up and it happens,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of have to just chill out and like, look, man, this is just people don't know, you know.
I'm not mad at Lee. I just think sometimes people need to think before they write. But it's just such an interesting situation. But the real funny thing is, Poole does need, and somebody keeps saying, well, why don't they get together and talk? Well, I personally chased down Larry and talked to him a couple of times.
And I know Greg did, you know, and
Yeah.
people, you know, this shit has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And what's kind of funny to me is, you know, now Nathan's running it. And
I don't think Nathan knows all the facts.
I don't think he does
yeah,
either, because there was a lot of shit that went down before he came in.
Yeah, and he's not. But
And-
it's just. I was going to say one other thing. It's. Was something I can't remember. One thing I will say that upsets me though. This is the year we were finally successful. We added an additional U.S. Open event.
Points
8
event.
ball. Points, BCA points events.
Yeah.
We brought the juniors in, and the juniors are so looking forward to playing next to the pros. And now some of these pros who think they're supposed to be role models are not even going to be there. Well, I'm going to assume they're not going to be there because they haven't told us if they're going to be there yet. Now, granted, our late fees don't start for till 2 weeks, another June 3rd. But look at how if I was a Poole fan, I'd say, do I want to go to the Tunica event and watch that Ultimate 10 ball? Let me see who's in it. Oh, well, hell, there's only 40 players. They don't understand the predicament they put for a person to promote their event if they don't sign up till the last minute.
Well, to me,
It's,
a
you
lot
know-
of that goes into, you know, I'm as, I don't want to say hard or, you know, hard on the players, but I mean, I'm as critical as anyone else of certain things. But in my opinion, in that way, I think the players, you can't hold them accountable for that, because as it is now, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
As it is now, everyone out there is an independent contractor.
True.
Every person out there is an
Yeah.
independent contractor. So they have to look at each event and they have to make a decision. Is it financially worth it for me to go to this event? Now,
I agree.
if a guy is sitting there and he's saying, okay, shit, it's going to cost me $1,500 to go to this thing. I've got $700 in my pocket. I think I'm going to wait and see if I can put some more money together, and then I'll make a decision
I agree.
when I know for sure.
I agree.
Now, you take that and you multiply that times the 50, 60 players in this country, and how can anyone be upset with them if they don't know what the hell they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have no reason, you know. And now
There's no incentive to paying early. Is
no,
what you're
well, not
saying.
only that, there's no incentive to telling anybody what the hell you're going to do. Why should they?
Yeah,
Because
well-
all they're getting is, you know, if somebody said, look,
That shows the immaturity of the industry.
no, I don't think
yeah,
so, man.
I
Because
agree.
it works both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot just say, look, I'm going to put this money up here, and whoever wants to play for it can come play for it, and then be upset when people don't, you know, the stars that you need to draw a gate don't jump right in. I mean, why should they? They're being treated the exact same way as some guy who has no shot to win, that nobody will come and watch, you know.
Well, I'm not sure what you're saying there.
No, what I'm saying is,
It's not
to
drawing
hold-
power here.
well, then why do you care?
It's
If you're trying to-
It's a cumulative drawing power. It's not whether Johnny Archer's there or Efren's there. It makes a difference, but it's if the top. What we're talking here is bonus ball currently has 60 players wrapped up, and I love it when they say, well, the alternates.
How do they
can-
have 60 players
Well,
wrapped up?
they got 3 plus 2 alternates.
Yeah, but the alternates don't have to be there.
No. I'm just saying their roster. They have 60 players involved in the bonus ball agenda, the teams and everything. And everybody says, like you were talking about, well, it cost me $1,500 to go to the tournament. Now, for a person that's playing in bonus ball, it costs them an additional $1,000 to go because they're giving up their income.
If they're scheduled to
Yeah,
play that week,
and
which
there's-
they're not always scheduled to play that week.
No.
But
Except I think everybody is scheduled every week because I'm not sure, but I was looking at their schedule and I didn't spend all that time on it. But I think there's 6 teams playing 6 teams.
well, you know, to me, one of the things that I think the players find most attractive about bonus ball, even more than the money, than the weekly pay or whatever, is it's the first thing to come along and say, hey, we're going to try and do something. Here's some money. Here's our structure. This is the goal. We're going to try and do something. Because no one else is doing that in pool.
Well,
Everyone's just doing the same shit they always do. And that's, having some tournaments, which in itself, it's not an easy thing to do, and I know why that's the way things are. But until someone steps up and provides an alternative, and, and I said that in my post, you can't expect these guys
yeah,
to do anything.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think that if they are going to take the posture of just sitting down on the top of everybody else's schedule, then they owe to a lot of people at least an explanation of what they're doing. Because my concept is you're supposed to work with people in the same industry. You're not supposed to go out and try to destroy them. And everybody says, like, I don't, and I really personally think it's about as unprofessional as can be, is just to ignore the existing structures and expect pool players or whatever to support you. But then I'm also going to go into, that'll wait. No, I want to finish this up with a little thing, some of the other things that are going on in the industry. But it's unfortunate that it gets to this point because some people's feelings do get hurt. And just to say, well, what's been going on now doesn't work, so we should just ignore it and just ignore it. And that's just not an adequate answer. And it really hurts to some of the people that have been doing this thing. I've been doing it I bought the leagues in 2004, and we took the tournaments over in 2006. 2007. And we do it as a courtesy to the industry. And I find it upsetting to think that, I just might go do something else. And I am starting, you'll notice from earlier in the program, I'm starting to put a lot of efforts into the junior program because I think they'll appreciate it a little bit more.
Once again, from a player's point of view, if I'm a player and I hear you say something like that, why the hell would I ever if I'm going to have to take a risk, why would I take a risk with a guy who says he's just completely able to go do something else?
Well, I'd still pool. I'm saying.
You see what I'm saying?
I do, but I'm saying if they go out, from their lack of support, and like it's an unregulated, unsupported, independent boycott, for lack of a better, it's really, I know that's not what it is. And I'm not trying, I still have 6 weeks before my event, and we still have plenty of time. And I'm not saying, what I'm trying to say is, the only people I blame this on is bonus ball, as far as it's strictly a scheduling issue to me. The players should have the option of doing both, and they could with just a little bit of planning. And I know, but our building's expensive. I have to laugh at a couple things that some of these people said. For instance, Nathan said, we got a guy that just put $1 million into a building. Listen, I could have given him a building in a film studio, and it would have cost them 10% of what they've spent. Yeah. They only need it. And you know, the one, you want to know the really kicker here? Since I don't know their plan, I can't figure this out. But I can tell you a couple things. If their main market was in Asia, they'd be filming it at 3 in the morning. They're not.
No, Nathan said they're not.
No.
They're not. They don't care about Asia.
Sure. So here's the issue. They could have avoided half of these conflicts. Why didn't they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? What difference does it make?
My opinion is, they spent, I don't even want, the list of shit they did that makes no sense is ridiculously long. But, Nathan's numbers, he spent $1 million on that studio. That's without buying a building.
Yeah, and that's about $85 per square foot, which is, you can do a pretty serious remodel on that, yeah.
So, so you've spent $1 million on this studio, but yet in another thing he says, well, we have to keep the cost. They're worried about paying rent on a building that they're not using, but yet they blow $1 million on the remodel. Whatever.
Those are yeah.
But it's just one thing. Nothing they're saying makes any sense.
I agree.
And the other thing that this, I'm here, I see this shit and I hear it, and I mean, everyone I know that has any business sense either owns a business or runs a business. I talk to people.
There's no business plan.
The film and television industry. I mean, everyone I know, people I know that in pool that have been in pool for 30 years, that have done stuff, and they've seen it all. Not one person can figure out how the hell this thing sustains.
The only
And
way
that means, and that's what pisses me off, is so that means all this bullshit that we've been going through, all this turmoil, in the end is going to be for absolutely nothing.
no, it's going to be very disruptive. It's
That's what I
costing-
mean.
yeah,
All the
yeah.
bullshit, because they've got no chance to survive.
Well,
So that means all the shit we're going through now, there's going to be nothing good come out of it.
Well, and the
That's what annoys me, and that's why I keep asking: is the money there, and how the fuck do you plan to survive? And no one will answer.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they have the answer. And I will answer a couple things, and you know the answer as well as I do. Yes, Nathan is supposed to get the equipment when if and when the thing collapses.
That's
Which
what I
is-
was. That's what I
well,
was told. Maybe that's not true. I was
well,
told that
I-
by two people.
I was-
Maybe they don't know what they're talking
I was told
about.
from a very, very good source. Which
That's why I
just-
kept asking.
Yeah, I know
which
that.
to me is crazy. You're incenting someone when they fail.
Yes,
It makes no sense.
yes.
So
The other, there's just a lot of issues, but the only way they can survive is with a sponsorship. And I'm not saying that won't happen. I just think that's a poor business plan, because when the sponsor goes, so do you. And with that, I'd like to drop the bonus ball discussion, because I want to talk about something I'm doing, and I alluded to it a couple weeks ago. And Justin's going to love this because it's more alphabet soup, but it's called the ABC League, and it is the American Billiard Club League. It's affiliate. Joe Tucker and I have gone together. It's somewhat under the CSI umbrella. And I'm not going to go into a lot of depth because it's a little complicated to explain, but it's extremely simple. Where Joe is out on the East Coast, he's getting together 32 rooms. Each room can have 8 and only 8 players. They pay $25 a week. They're playing American rotation, which is an offensive-defensive game. It's round robin, so the session lasts 7 weeks. Out of the 32 rooms, there's going to be 8 divisions, or 8 regions, and each region has 4 rooms. So you have 4 rooms in a region. You have 8 regions, and that gives you your 32 rooms. At the end of 7 weeks, they'll have the regional playoffs. Half the players go to the regionals, and they're always within driving distance, which means you don't have to give up any of your livelihood. You can have a steady job. You can do all these things. When you go to the regionals, 2 players from the regionals go to the nationals. The minimum they win is $1,000. Top prize is about $7,000, and this is going to happen 6 times a year. If we're successful and we get up to 92 rooms, total prize fund will be about $600,000 a year. Totally self-supporting. It's based on the theory of supply and demand. Each room can have 8 and only 8 players. I don't care how many good players you got. The room owner decides who they are. We're dealing directly with the room owner. He gets to pick everything. The room owner will be giving us the check. It'll all be scores will be done on a phone app. They'll be sent to the website, and that's all being constructed. It's a non-impacting chance for the top players to play in a very competitive league. It will evolve into a pro tour. I'm a little hesitant to call it a pro tour coming out of the gate.
yeah, you're a little jumpy there, aren't you?
No, actually, Joe Tucker loves the term pro tour, but it's going to evolve to it. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to change your lifestyle to play the game of pool. You don't have to go spending $2,000 to fly across the country. The furthest you'll have to go is maybe a 4 or 5 hour car drive, and that's to play in your regionals. And that's on your dime, But after that, if you win the regionals, you get paid to go to the nationals. It's all played on 9-foot tables. And I think the model is really, really good. Now, this is an experiment. We're funding it. Nobody's going to get rich, but it gives an opportunity to play at your top level. And it's really got some really, really good attributes.
I like the structure of it. The feeder structure
Yep.
makes sense. I think trying to do it with a new game is a mistake, but we've been over that.
No, this game makes sense. Under normal
disagree.
circumstances, I would agree with you, because the American rotation, it is rotation, but we need a point structure, and you don't really have a good point structure with 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball. Maybe with 8-ball you do. With American rotation, every ball is worth 1 point. The last 5 balls are worth 5 points. Therefore, you have 20 points in a full rack. You play to 100 points or 150 points, you get a score. I beat Justin 100 to 82, or whatever the case may be. It's alternating break. there's some intricacies of the rules. The first break, it's very equating thing. In other words, you and I both have the same opportunities. It's not a slop game. It's call shot, call safe. A match to 100 points, which would you get 20, so that could be 9 racks of full rack rotation, maybe 2 hours max. So I think it has a huge potential. The structure is what amazed me so much, not so much the game, because if this works with American rotation, we could come back in and try it with other games.
Well, to me,
And
that's why I think you're, I think the structure is the thing.
Mm-hmm. The structure is the thing.
The structure is the thing, and I think doing it with a new game, it's so hard to do anything with a new game.
But you can't do it. See, you can't do it with 9-ball or 10-ball. How do you do it? Because you might have 3 monsters and 3. In other words, I beat you 9-0, and I beat you 9-1.
But
It's a different.
what you're doing is a league. You're doing a handicapped league.
It's not handicap. This is totally scratch. It's scratch.
Then how does that change anything?
Because I get points, you get points. It's like if we were bowling, and you get a 180 and I get a 160. It's not like you beat me
So
180
what if you just
to
play
nothing.
9-ball and you get 1 point for each rack?
Well, you could do it that way. You could, but it's a little bit different. It's still a different game. 9-ball is such an offensive game, even with alternating rack, and so. And I'm not here to talk about the merits of American rotation. It's the concept that works.
Well, I'm just trying to
And-
be fair because we just spent a half an hour ragging on bonus ball.
Okay.
So I mean, I think it's kind of one-sided to sit here and just say, "Oh, but what I'm doing."
No.
I mean-
no. But this gives an actual point number, and when you go, each room has 8 players. The top 4 players go to the regional, and you can.
No, I mean
you
the
know,
structure
it's,
to
you
me
know,
is the thing.
yeah.
I mean, I think just that network. If you can put that structure together, I think it's ridiculous to start talking about a pro tour at this point. But
Well, when you start doing 6 events a year, and if we had 92 rooms, and you're giving away.
yeah,
it's like
but I mean,
460.
you haven't even done the league hasn't started yet.
That starts July 1st.
That's what I mean. So, I mean, you're doing yourself a real disservice by
No.
even mentioning Pro Tour. Yeah,
Okay.
because
All right.
So what happens when people start saying? Because this is how things work. They say, "Hey, Mark Griffin's starting a Pro Tour."
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's what you just said.
I say. This will evolve into a pro tour.
Yeah, so you're starting a Pro Tour, right?
See, you're.
No, I'm just telling you.
different
See-
words.
You see what I'm saying?
I say-
So why say anything? Why say it? Just
Okay.
tell them what you're doing. I wouldn't say anything about a
Okay.
Pro Tour.
Well, I'm somewhat disagreeing and agreeing. It's going to evolve into, because in time, the top players, we're not sure, each region has its own best players. You might go to New York and have 20 of the top players in the country, but only 8 can play in each room. And we're not putting 3 rooms in Atlanta or 3 rooms in New York. There's distance
No,
involved.
like I said, I think the structure is the thing. I hope it works. I think
So do I,
I think
because-
it's going to be a really tough sell because, there's so much noise out there, like with everything else.
Well, but see, we're
But-
not going after this. Actually, the reason I'm mentioning it because this is the right time to do it. We were putting this together 2 months ago before the bonus ball announced their dates and all this and all that. Because in all honesty, I've kind of ignored bonus ball. The only thing I get upset with now is their scheduling. That's the only thing
Yeah,
that
but what
affects
you're
me.
doing
But
is not even in the same realm.
that's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. This is perfect timing for the ABC League, which means American Billiard Club. It's only played in pool rooms, only on 9-foot tables. They
Yeah.
don't have to be diamonds. It's just a 9-foot table. And it's beautiful because we're not going after the top player initially. We're going for the top player in that region.
Yeah.
And that's in some areas that's a world champion. In other areas, it's guys your speed. Well, maybe not that bad.
We'll see. Like I said, I like the idea of the structure.
So do I.
I think it's a brutal sell on the new game. Just
okay.
because, and I hope it's not.
Well,
I hope you guys get 120 rooms or whatever the hell
Yeah.
you're looking for. And
Well, I will tell you,
bangs out. But I'm just going back to the BC. Like I love the BCS series.
NCS, National
NCS.
Championship Series.
Yeah, I love the NCS. Series.
When it
I
was
thought
great,
it was a great idea.
It was. But this,
but
this
I
is-
remember how that kind of went.
It was brutal because we were looking
Right.
to put tournaments together, and when the tournament, you have to the local room has to promote it. They need 8 players. If a room doesn't have 8 good, solid players that'll commit for 7 weeks, then we don't need that room. See, the beauty of it is we're only looking for 1 room in each region. I will tell you, Joe's been making some pretty good progress. He went to 1 room It was in South Carolina. We sent out a FedEx package 3-4 days, and then 2 days later, Joe calls him. 2 days later, he's there. Joe talked to him. He got there. He had the 8 players playing the game. He says, I'm in. Where do I sign up?
That's good.
Because, first of all, the players are starting to talk because we're going down the East Coast and it's going into Columbus area a little bit. It has some real potential. And the biggest, strongest point of this whole thing is totally self-supporting.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
we happen to stumble and get a sponsor, man, that's just off the charts.
I agree. I think it's a good thing.
I just wanted to throw it out there. If anybody wants to get any more information, they can contact me. But I'm going to turn you over to Joe Tucker, so you can. Just call me or contact me. I'm not going to. I guess. Most people know how to get in touch with me. I'm not going to start putting my phone numbers up and everything again. But just get in touch with me through CSI, and I'll just send you Joe Tucker's information. Because in the next 9 months, we'll be probably across the country because we're doing it regionally. So there's some good things. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah. We'll see. Just keep that Pro Tour shit to yourself, man.
Yeah, okay.
Save yourself a bunch of trouble. Trust me. I'm looking out for you on this one.
Hey, I'm not afraid of anybody. I got you as a bodyguard.
Yeah. Under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
What else? But no, just as far as the tar thing goes, we got 35 coming up.
Yes, sir. And
Dennis
that's
and
going to be a
Shane.
barn burner.
It's going to be a great match.
I didn't think I was going to be favoring the race to 100, but the more I thought about it, I'm like you. This is the match for the race to 100.
To me, I feel like it deserves it.
Yeah.
It's our 35th one.
Well, these guys are like speed freaks too. This
It
is
won't
not gonna
take
be a
long. Basically, all it is it's what is that? 8 more games than we normally play to.
Yeah.
Per day.
4.5 hours.
35 could be 35 the first day, 35 the second. Well, the second day could last longer.
Sure.
Because if a guy's stuck 6 or 7 games and he comes back and wins, it goes longer.
Yeah. Obviously.
But I'm not sure what the commentator thing's looking like right now. Have to see. I've got some ideas. Try to switch it up a little bit.
Yep.
So we'll see what I can come up with. Hopefully it'll be something interesting.
Okay.
One of the good things, all these bonus ball guys in town, maybe some of them pick up a little extra money, come do some commentary.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it's interesting. They're as you know. We can all with a good arm, you could throw a rock at their studio from here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see.
yeah, and I guess they bonus ball launches next Thursday or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's
that's 30th, 29th or 30th.
To me, all I give a shit about is that, for all this upheaval that's went on, if everybody gets paid, then it's worth it, but just the fact that the whole attitude, the arrogance,
Yep.
just the bullshit,
I'm going to agree totally. My beef is with the schedule. They could have,
and people really do get it wrong. At least they're like, oh, well, they're not like they're supposed to come tell you anything or ask you anything. And you know what? You're right. They don't have to tell anybody shit, but they shouldn't be surprised when they do that. When people who are aware of what the hell goes on in this industry and what has happened over the last decade stand up and go, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. No, it's really, listen, it just was uncalled for to schedule on top of the existing events. Absolutely. I don't care how many excuses you come up with, none of them are worth it. Not unless if you're so confident that you're going to just take over the pool world, but that's still totally disrespectful to, hey, my events, I got contracts for 3 more years out there.
To me, the way I look at it, it's like, if you want to come in, if you're going to come into an industry and say, screw everybody else, fine.
Don't be
but like I said,
don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised when everybody else says screw you.
Yeah. Well,
and no one's done that yet.
But it's just,
and what's funny is like everyone I know in this game has at one time or another either been approached or offered insight, usually for no money, to bonus ball. And bonus ball's been around long enough. I think some of these guys, Nathan and his crew don't understand how many guys they've ran through already.
Well, the game's been around for 10, 12 years now. He's been working on this thing forever. But again, I want him to be successful if Poole's successful. But right now,
I want them to, if
they're not.
if
They're
they,
injuring
if they,
Poole.
No, if they follow through on what they say they're going to do,
No.
that's fine. But it's not going to happen.
Well, I
We
still
know
disagree with you because if they follow through and do what they've done, then they've possibly destroyed the other events when that was not necessary, and that's not fine. So they're gambling with more than they think they're gambling with. And Jay Helfert wrote a thread, and I was involved with Jay back in some of those LA Opens.
Oh no, I have no doubt
and
that.
there's some real issues going on here because
Well, it's like I've said
it's,
before. Pro
you know,
pool in this country is so tenuous as it is.
it's so fragile, and this is like taking a sledgehammer to kill a mosquito.
Well, you know what
This
it is?
is totally
it's
insanity.
a few guys that get in a room and tell each other how smart they are.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's how you get this kind of shit. Yeah. It's a couple guys that get in a room, they tell each other how smart they are, and they've got the horsepower to do a little bit, or the money, or the backing, or the investors, or wherever they got the loot, or the credit. So,
But did they really look at what's good for the sport? I mean, they're all saying, but that didn't work, this should work. But you're not really looking at, you're making them say, I got to go this way or this way, when they could have done, I can do both.
Yeah.
Wow, what a thought. So, and some of these people are just naive. And that's why I mentioned Gary Lettman's name. I really like Gary. I don't know him that well, but he doesn't know his history on this one. So,
Well, and the way I look at it is, whatever. Either some people think, the people that are saying stuff like me or you or whoever, they'll label us just as haters. This is the same shit that happened with the IPT.
I know. No.
It's the exact same thing that happened before the IPT.
And anybody that calls that haters, that's a cop out.
Oh, it is.
Tell me why, just talk logic with me. And I really would, like anything else, I'll discuss anything with anybody. But I'm really looking at what's best for Poole, and the way this is being handled is not what's good for Poole.
Well,
and it could still be resolved, and
nothing,
Nathan and those guys pick up the phone and say, hey, we need to change some dates.
Yeah.
Boom, you could probably get a lot more support.
Well, my thing, nothing tilts me when somebody says, points at a black wall and says that's white. Yeah. You just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, I'm about done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Well, I thank Sam for being here and talking about the BEF, and I'm really excited about having the BEF there. And hopefully even some of the bonus ball players, even if they don't play in our tournament, they can come down and support the BEF. They got to have some time off, obviously.
To me, that's something else, too. It's my last bonus ball thing, I swear, is it bothers me that I know anybody that stands up and questions bonus ball is being painted as someone who's trying to screw these guys out of their money.
Yeah, right.
I know that's been said.
Sure, it's been said. It's narrow thinking.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if I was one of those players, I would want someone out there saying, "Hey, show me the money." How does this survive?
Mm-hmm.
If no one can answer that question,
listen.
Really?
I agree.
Okay, I'll be the bad guy, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Well, I know that it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, and we will do what we have to do. And I'm sure Badi will do what he has to do, and I'm sure that Diamond will do what they have to do.
And that's the other thing, man. But Badi, this guy comes in and he's legit. He's proven. He's got a track record.
Yeah.
He's
adding $125,000 to this event, plus the expenses.
For 4 days.
He's in $200,000, and these guys don't even have to. But it's still early. Well, it's not that early. His event starts in 2.5 weeks, 16th. 7 and 16, 3 weeks.
But I don't know. That's another thing. We could do a whole show. Everything to me, it's like, all right, you base things based on your experience, your knowledge, the people you trust, their input, things like that. Everyone makes decisions the same way. I think any rational person does that, but it's like everything from bonus ball from the beginning. What have they done? They paid out $3,000 to the players when they screwed them on when they were Yeah. That's what they have done. That's all they've done.
True.
Today, after a year and a half of jerking people around, that's what they have done. Now you've got this guy Badi, who has been talking about doing. He wants to do things. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He pays out. He does a tournament down in Texas. Goes great. Everybody likes it. I think Mike won that, didn't he? DeShane?
Mike DeShane, that was his kind of coming out party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that happens. And now, the people that, at least on the forums and stuff, we really should be talking about this ultimate 10-ball thing.
Yep.
And what Body's doing, and, he's, his plans or what he's looking to do. Or just anything, because it's a new promoter, that actually is funded.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not, because we're spending too much time on this other goofy
But I'm
shit.
going to point out, getting back to professional pool in this country, that's why there's not 64 professional players in this country.
No.
Take a look at the Seminoles. One of the reasons they pulled out, the main thing was the politics. But they had that $50,000 added event, their last event, at Steve Mizrak thing.
That was sick.
Well, they have 52 players?
That was
64-man
sick.
players?
That was sick.
64?
Yeah.
The players won't even support their own industry.
Well,
and that gets back to what you were saying. Why do you blame them? Because $2,000 to go to a tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, that's why you and I have talked about this forever. And I actually, me and Cleary got into it, arguing back, and I argue with everybody. Even
I didn't
my
know
good
Cleary
friends.
argued.
Well, I said there's maybe 16 pro players in the United
You're
States.
scraping to get to 16. You're really working it. I
Maybe.
think 12. It's 10 to 12 is my
And
number.
or no, maybe my number was less than that. Maybe it was 10.
My number was 10 to 12 about a year ago, but I think there's some that are falling off the radar.
Maybe the number I gave was 10. Maybe that because it might have been low. But and to me, a pro player is someone who is a threat to win any international event they enter. Definitely a threat to win any open tournament in this country. And more importantly, is someone that a fan would cross the street to see.
Yeah.
Otherwise, someone who can, to me, professional is how you make your living. Someone who makes a living playing pool, and has a draw. Now, yeah, there's guys out there, there's guys who are professional golfers. They're teaching pros or they're out on small tours grinding
It
out
might be
an
number
existence.
100, but they're still a professional.
Right. But that's not who I'm talking about. And I need to define the term that I'm talking about. But, and to me, so I'm of the opinion that, and you and I have talked about it before, these tournament models that we do, there is a need for them. There's a need for U.S. Open 10-ball, U.S. Open 8-ball. There's a need for those kind of events. But, there are no pro tour tournaments in the United States. Zero. The only one that I can think of is Mosconi Cup. Maybe Challenge of Champions, if you want to consider that. But other than that, there are no professional tournaments. They're open tournaments.
They're open tournaments. No, I understand what you're saying. Well, you and I, and I'm not going to go out and tell everybody our model because we've talked about it before. But the model, I know what you're talking about. And
Yeah,
that's
keep
the
the
only
model secret, bro. Yeah, we're not going to tell anybody.
No. Well, no, it's the only model that'll work.
Well, if you're trying to do a pro tour, if you're
Yeah.
trying to do something,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And see, our events are not supposed to be a pro tour. They're supposed to be.
No, you're doing U.S. Open events.
They're supposed to be a celebration of the juniors, the amateurs, and the pros.
Yeah.
And so everybody can learn from everybody, and the amateurs can see, wow, that's how you can play that. Man, look how good. Man, I want to play more pool. It's all about getting people jazzed up about the game.
Yeah. Well, to
anyhow.
me, and one thing, the players take a lot of heat, and I want to clarify to people that, I'm on the players' side 99.9% of the time, even maybe when they make decisions that make you scratch your head. So to me, I hope that we can find somebody. I would give my right arm if somebody could form a legitimate organization or structure that made sense, that wasn't ran by somebody with a vested interest. And, or not even that, because having a vested interest can be good.
You've got to have the awareness. You can't have somebody outside the industry, but you got to have somebody that's ethical.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's ethicals that, you know, I mean, a lot of people would call me non-ethical in areas, but I can defend myself, I think. So whatever, who cares?
Well, it's, you know, I don't know. We can get into
Yeah.
it. But that's something I think we should discuss in another podcast maybe is
Yeah.
something, you know, some kind of structure. Or everybody's got an idea. It comes down to when you start, you know, doing details
Takes
and
money
numbers.
to do things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, yeah,
And
chicken or
support.
egg. Yeah.
It takes money and it takes support.
Okay, let's wrap it up. We ran
I would
long.
appreciate that. TAR 35, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. This was our 40th. It almost sounds like a birthday.
40th
Like the
podcast.
40th podcast,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't have any more to say. When is our next podcast? Well, I know we'll have one
Next
on
week.
June 6th.
You can do one next week.
Okay, we should do that. A lot's going on.
Actually, maybe not. Well, you know, maybe we can do a podcast and watch bonus ball. Hey, but I tell you what, I will make another bet. I will bet that it looks
You said-
amazing.
you know it's going to look great.
It's going to look amazing, and
it's-
I'm sure that it's going to be really cool.
The technology is awesome. I said I don't have any problem with anything except their scheduling.
Yeah.
That's my only beef.
Well, I got a problem with their attitude, but
Well, that too, but that's part of the issues why you have scheduling problems. If you didn't have their attitude, you wouldn't have the scheduling problem because they would have tried to work around it.
but
It's a character
yeah,
situation.
I mean, I have
But
no
I
doubt.
don't care about characters. I don't care about personalities. I only care about the game of pool, and you can't have things scheduled on top of each other and expect the industry to survive.
Yeah,
End
but
of statement.
right.
I'm done, sir.
why you always got to rag on bonus ball, man?
I haven't said their name for like 12 seconds. No, I'm not.
All right,
I'm not ragging.
All right. Well,
Good night, everybody. I appreciate it. We appreciate Sam for coming in. Maybe we'll get somebody else that's exciting here coming in here.
Hey, you want to
next day or
take the jet, go get a lobster in Boston or something?
two. No, I need to buy 2 more rooms for my 30-room mansion. I want 32 rooms.
Okay, right on.
I can't have those APA guys having a bigger mansion than me. What the hell's this world coming to? Good night, Lee. Good night, Justin.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Video on demand. Check it out.
Yeah.
Go watch Star 34
All right.
and the Shane stuff. Later.
Oh, me.